Welcome back to the channel, folks. In this video, I'll show you a simple water setup we installed in this Sprinter. No sink, no indoor shower, no gray or black water, just a clean, functional system for renting bikes, gear, or yourselves out the back of the van. So this setup has an outdoor water faucet with hot and cold water, a 19-gallon fresh water tank, a gravity fill, and a water level sensor that shows up right on our Victron Servo touchscreen. It's simple, practical, and it fits perfectly for how this van will be used. I'll start by walking through the main components and how everything works together. And I have links in the description for all this material if you're interested. First up is the freshwater tank. This is 19 gallons and the only tank in the system. Again, there's no gray or black water. For the water pump, I'm using a SureFlow 3 gallons per minute 12-volt pump. I've used the same pump in multiple builds now, and it's been solid each time. Next, we used an IsoTemp Webasto 4-gallon or 15-liter hot water heater. It's very well insulated and heats quickly. One nice feature with this unit is that it has engine coolant ports. So this allows the hot engine coolant to circulate around the tank and heat the water as you drive. So we didn't connect it in this build, but if you're spending a lot of time in the van, it's a great option. So anytime you're driving, you're heating your water basically without using any electricity. For tank level monitoring, we added a KUS water level sensor. This also ties directly into our Victron ecosystem and plugs into the Servo GX so you can see water level on the touchscreen. And for the actual water access, we're using a Dura faucet spray box with a detachable hose along with a Valterra gravity fill port. So again, this whole setup is built around simplicity, fewer parts, fewer failure points, and just enough water for the need. So let's get into how we built it. To house everything, we built a cabinet out of extruded aluminum. It holds the tank and the components. We also needed to include an open or empty section for the wheel well, and we built in 2 storage areas also since we had the extra space. I won't go deep into the cabinet construction here. I covered a lot of that in my electrical cabinet video, which has similar concepts just for a different purpose. The video covers material to use, where to purchase, how to assemble, things like that. So you can check that out in the link above, but I will touch on a few key details. First, we built as much as we could outside the van. This makes it easier to work on as everything's at bench level. It's bright, right? So plenty of light, and it's easy to get to. Then once assembled, or mostly assembled, we moved it into the van to finish up. Also, when laying out where the pieces will go, keep the heavy items as low as possible, like the water tank, for example. We have it directly on the floor, not up on the wheel well. Here's what the layout process looks like, and cutting the panels, and sanding and painting, and then assembling the cabinet. And one small detail here, I didn't want the plastic tank rubbing directly against the aluminum, so I ordered this T-slot rubber tread and put it on the inside of the extruded aluminum section where the tank was going. That way, as the van vibrates going down the road, the tank rubs against the rubber instead of the aluminum. This may not have caused an issue, but I added it just to be safe. And again, I have a link to this and the other materials in the video description. Okay, so once it was partially assembled, I test fitted in the van. Doing this test fit early could save challenges later on, especially once the plumbing and the wiring are involved. With the cabinet built, it was time to mount the components. First, the water heater, then the pump, and then the faucet, which apparently I didn't get a video of, but this is it finished. Next, I cut a hole in the tank and installed an inspection hatch. This is a C-Flow 6-inch inspection hatch. I also cut a hole for the water pump inlet. For this, we used a 1/2-inch clear tube and this 3/8-inch Uniseal grommet, and these sizes go together, so this allows it to be watertight. We also used a check valve that does a couple of things, and I got this idea from Thrive Vans, so thanks guys for that. But first thing this does is it just weighs the end of the tube down, right? So it's always at the bottom. But the second thing this does is it only allows water in, and it doesn't let the water that's already been sucked up into the tube to fall back down into the tank when the pump stops. And this is good because if this wasn't here, every time the pump would start, it would have to clear out the air in the tube, so it just makes for a better experience. And now the tank's ready to be installed into the cabinet. So next, I connected everything using PEX, and I used PEX A for this build. There are a few different types. I like A for a couple of reasons. First, it's more flexible than the other types of PEX, so better for vans, in my opinion. Also, I like how the connections work. It has an expansion tool that lets you work with the fitting before installing it. So sometimes it's hard to get a PEX tool into the tight space where the plumbing is, so this just makes it easier. I bought this manual tool, but there is a battery electric tool as well that's super simple and quick, so I'll provide the links to both. I also added this water pump filter, which is important to protect the water pump from any sediment or debris that might get into the tank. And as you can see, I use red for hot, blue for cold for the PEX. So basically you run the PEX from the water tank to the pump, and then the cold lines from the pump to the cold faucet and the hot water heater, and then from the hot water heater to the hot faucet. So really a small amount of plumbing involved. I also added a place to connect the hot water heater's overflow drain. So this goes through the floor to underneath the van. So if the tank overheats, the water exits outside the van and not inside the van. So once everything was mounted and the plumbing connected, the cabinet went into the van. All in and filled with water. This can easily weigh 150 to 200 pounds, so strong mounting points are critical. There is some prep I did prior to mounting, so caulk around the edges of the van. I also added insulation around the wheel well, as you can see. So now install the supports that tie the cabinet to the van structure, then just slide it into place, and finally bolt the cabinet in. So once the cabinet was in place, I connected the wiring that I had pre-run for the water heater and the pump. I then hooked up the pump, filled the tank, and immediately found a leak, which I fixed before moving on. So the point here is, testing for leaks as early as possible is key. You don't really want any surprises down the road. Once the leak was fixed, I tested the sprayer, so all is good with the sprayer, the pump, the lines. Next was installing and testing the tank level gauge. This uses a simple 2-strand wire running from the sensor here back to the Servo GX. So it's pretty straightforward. I also installed removable panel tracks, so a few of the cabinet panels can come out to make access to the storage or the components easier. So here's what it looks like almost finished. And to keep the water lines from moving around, I used holders that slide into the extruded aluminum slots and then zip tied the PEX lines into place. And here it is with all the panels installed. And again, having the ability to remove the panels later makes maintenance and updates way easier down the road. So that's it. That's the water system install for this Sprinter. Simple, functional, and designed around how the van is going to be used. If you're looking for something with more features, I do have another video of a full water system in a ProMaster that I built with an interior shower, a sink, and 2 gray water tanks underneath the van. So I'll link that here if you'd like to check it out, and thanks for watching.